Hello, I'm very glad that you are here, and today I would like to speak about music as a language. Many composers, many musicians saw music as a language, and Jean Sibelius said, "Music begins where the possibilities of language end." I was thinking about it. How is it if I want to learn a language? For example, English. It is. I started it in my school, so I go to school. I had some books to learn it, and yeah, there were some rules to speak English or to learn to speak English. I found English book, pre-intermediate level, and then I saw suddenly that in every book, almost every book, there's some structure where are exercises, and almost every book have the same exercises in some forms. And here they are. It is reading, listening, speaking, and writing. These are these four most famous and most important. But there is also vocabulary, grammar, intonation, and some functions. So it's special in this book. So as I learned English or another language, I have to write, make some exercises, writing it, speaking, hearing, and so listening and reading. If I compare it with my music education, and if I compare language to music, I ask myself, okay, so what did I do in my music education? So first, as I start to learn classical music, I was taught to read the music. So I became score notes, some easy piano pieces. I had to read the notes, like these signs. So in language it will be letters. And then if I play it fluently, I could. It was like fluently reading. Yeah, I became then another piece and another piece and another piece to play more and more, to read faster and faster, and also to present it, to present this reading for some audience. Like I'm speaking about children concert, like one time a year or two times per year, to present what I learned in this time. So this was the presentation of this what I read. It was also by heart, but someone wrote this piece. So the reading was there. Listening. So I listened a lot of music. I listened a lot of pop music and some normal music which you can hear in radio. And I was also singing a lot of popular songs, also from radio. It was children's songs and so on. And later in the music school, I have ear training, so I try to listen. What is the fifth? What is the fourth, and so on. So intervals, and then there were some diktats, so melodies to hear, maybe 4-8 bars, and to write them down. Yeah, so this was like a hearing experience or listening experience, how the language is. Because if I learned English, the listening was typical situation, for example, in a cafe, in a bar, on the train station. So they was listening about what's happening there, how is the situation, and then to try to imagine this situation and to maybe to use this sentence for the typical for this situation. And in music, listening was like trying to also to hear some musical structures, but mostly it was later in music like very specific, I think, like intervals and chords, connections, harmonic connections. Yes, so listening. Then writing. Yeah, I had to write. In these books are also a lot of like you have a sentence and you have to fill the gaps. These filling gaps is typical for it, but also to write some more short stories and so on, to maybe some letters and so on. And if I'm thinking about music, I didn't write anything. I think first in my Tonsatz, so Tonsatzunterricht, Tonsatz, I mean music theory lessons in Hans Eisler School of Music. So the university level here in Berlin. I have very nice lesson with Hans-Peter Janoch. It was great teacher. And he was really great. And he showed me a lot of samples from literature, and he asked, okay, for example, from a French suite of Bach, and he said, okay, try to write very small sarabande or very small menuet. So it starts like this, and then also I wrote some in counterpoint. I think it was some short invention. Yeah? So I think it was with the age 24. I started a little bit to write. It was more like to tasting, to how does it feel. But it was not like writing every day. A lot of exercises like in this book. Yeah, so writing was also in a little bit of writing was also in my musical education, and then speaking in language. So as I learned English, we were in the class, we were speaking together. The teacher asked me something, and I should understand him and answer him, and to create from words which I know already, which I've heard already, to create some answer. And at the beginning it was very difficult. In some cases now it's also difficult because my vocabulary is not large enough. Yeah, but it was speaking for me. It was like small talk. It was very practical speaking, because I was very happy if I could order a cafe or to buy some bread in a shop or in bakery, and so I hope you understand what I'm meaning. Like small talk from the day situation, and it was very practically orientated. And then came this question: where in the music is my speaking? Because as I was playing Chopin, Bach, Beethoven, Rachmaninoff, and so on, all the literature, it didn't feel like speaking in normal all-day language, like ordering something in cafe and so on. And then now, for me, the speaking is improvisation. It feels like I'm not presenting something, I'm not reciting something, I'm speaking from myself, I'm speaking from inside of me. and it's very important to have this feeling. It's a small talk, and it is not a big lecture of something important. It's also, I think, psychological issue, because if we feel very similar, very familiar to something, and we repeat it already 1,000 times, it's something normal for us. I hope I could express myself with this small vocabulary. Yeah, but what I did already, it was also improvisation. It was also improvised. I didn't have anything here to read from, and it was freestyle, and I try to express myself with these words I have already. I know already. So thank you very much, and yeah, we'll see in the next video. Bye bye.